Hello everyone, welcome to part 6 of Shadow Generations. We're on Chaos Island. This is honestly the weirdest stage in the game. Now, saying this is my least favorite area in the game, but I still think it's pretty fun. It's awkward. You got the Doom Morph and everything, and it's kind of weird to control. With that said, I did mention in an earlier part that this is the Planet Wisp of Shadow Generations, and I meant it in a way that it introduces all these weird gimmicks, and that it's kind of looked down upon when it comes to, conversation, but it's nowhere near as tedious as Planet Wisp is. I can tell you that much for sure. This stage is more or less just, it feels like it doesn't belong. Or better yet, it should have been designed differently. It also doesn't help that Shadow was not on Chaos Island during this time. I mean, he was not even in Sonic Frontiers at all. Unless he was sipping on a beer in the background or something and Sonic was doing his thing, which I do not see Shadow doing. Shadow is more of a hard liquor guy, straight from the bottle. Now, Chaos Island, it is reliant on the Doom Morph to get you through. And I will admit, the Doom Morph controls are very loose, especially if you're on the walls. But if you know when to use your Spider-Man swing mechanic, then the Doom Morph is a pretty fun way to get around. Especially when you know when to swing from goo ball to goo ball and then homing attack into another goo ball. It is pretty satisfying. Now, I think the reason why they went with Chaos Island for Shadow Generations is because Sonic Team still had the textures from that stage from Sonic Frontiers. So they figured, hey, why not just use the stage again? Instead of, I don't know, put a stage from Shadow the Hedgehog. Where's Stopless? Yeah, that is one of the strangest things about Shadow Generations is that there are no stages from Shadow the Hedgehog. You know, the namesake. The reason why I don't know if it's the reason, but kind of the reason why we got this game. I thought we were commemorating the 24 years of Shadow the Hedgehog. Why not a stage from Shadow the Hedgehog? It doesn't make sense. So what are they gonna do for the eventual Silver Generations, huh? Eh? Oh wait, that character bombed. So he wasn't in too many games. Whoops. At least we got Blaze to take his place. I mean, Silver just did not get the job done. He didn't get the job done. It's no use! You're damn right it's no use. Anyway, we got this platforming section. Kind of. It's not really a platforming section, you just have to watch out for the lava, which does not kill you in one hit. Though it's still very dangerous, and dangerous to look at too. That lava looks menacing. At least we're out of the Anakin Skywalker pit. This place actually looks a lot like Mustafar. Or more so Solus. It looks very Solus from Star Wars. I'm surprised Solus was not in any of the Star Wars movies. It was mentioned in A New Hope, but not shown for some reason. Anyway, that's the end of the stage, and damn, that was a quick stage. Holy crap. Anyway, that's the quote-unquote worst stage of the game out of the way, even though I don't think this stage is truly that bad at all. In fact, there are no real bad stages in Shadow Generations. That's honestly surprising. Even the best Sonic games will have zones that are absolute trash, but Shadow Generations? No. Chaos Island Act 2. Now this stage is deceivingly quick if you know what to do. The purple sludge you need your Doom Morph for makes a return here, and it's easier to control in 2D, which makes Act 2 the better act than Act 1. That's the only reason why. The better controls with the Doom Morph. You also have these boulders that look like they were ripped straight out of Raiders of the Lost Ark chasing you around at certain points. Even though these boulders here are not as big as the ones from Indiana Jones, I just like saying that they're from Raiders of the Lost Ark. Believe it or not, we're already halfway through the act. For the penultimate zone of the game, this is kind of a little bit underwhelming. Again, Chaos Island is not a bad zone, even though it does not fit with Shadow, but it does leave a lot to be desired. And in all honesty, I wish there were 1 or 2 more zones from different games here. Obviously, we're missing some Shadow stages. Where are the temple stages from Shadow the Hedgehog? Where are they? They're not even here. I like Glyphic Canyon. Those zones would have been way more interesting in HD, and without the stupid objectives. Another zone I would pick if I were to have my own way is, This is tricky because Sonic Adventure 2 has 2 zone representations here, and every other game has 1, so probably another Shadow the Hedgehog level? At that point I will just be like, okay, we'll throw whatever we want here. Which is what they did with Chaos Island, to be fair. Boo, you're not even gonna have a volcano explode behind me?
I found you, Shadow!
The blue hedgehog, of all places.
You have something I need.
You can wait until my business is finished.
Yeah, sorry, but that Chaos Emerald and I have a date with a monster.
Well then, it'll be a date to die for.
Nice hustle, but I won this one. So I'm taking the emerald. See ya!
I finally find you, and what do I see? Sonic defeating you. What happened?
I will beat him on equal terms, or not at all.
A fine time for you to be honorable. Now he has the Chaos Emerald.
No, he has a fake emerald. I'll have you swap it for the real thing after I'm finished with my mission.
Wow, look at you. As a professional jewel thief, I approve.
I gotta say, cheesy line delivery and pandering aside, I love the character dynamics of Rouge, Shadow, and Sonic in that one cutscene. Shadow is absolutely annoyed at Sonic. He's like Squidward, but he's also cordial at the same time. Sonic's being his usual self, and Rouge, even though her voice acting is not that great, she's being mischievous, and I like it. I want to see more character interactions like that in Frontiers too, instead of, you know, pissed off Shadow is pissed off for no reason Shadow. Or Reckless Sonic is reckless just because, or Tails being a scaredy cat. Actually, that one I really don't like. Tails being a scaredy cat for some reason. I thought we established that he wasn't. Like with the ghosts from Sonic Heroes or the Dark Gaia creatures from Sonic Unleashed, sure, but in Sonic Forces, where it makes no sense. Why? I don't get it. They destroyed Tails' character as much as they did Silver's. Anyway, time to go into the goop. This took me a while to find on my first playthrough, but you actually have to go through this cave entrance here. The developers made it a point to hide this location from you as if to warn you that there's danger afoot. And for good reason, because this guy, he's a bit too dangerous for this timeline. But we'll be seeing him in the next part. I guess I should be talking about how Shadow lost that fight. So basically Shadow decides to throw the fight purposefully, but it looks like he would have won if he used his Doom powers. But Shadow decides against it because that would just be cheating, even though Shadow already has Chaos Control. But then again, Sonic also has access to Chaos Control in certain points, so I guess that would not be cheating. But the Doom powers are a cheat. But the real reason why Shadow forfeit the fight was because he wanted to swap the fake emerald for the real emerald, which was something I was not expecting. It was also something that I was not expecting Sonic to just not notice at all in the story. Like, Sonic did not notice Shadow swapped the Chaos Emerald that quickly. I guess Shadow is just that smooth with it. He's got the sleight of hand that will make Assassin's Creed protagonists blush. And Sonic's none the wiser. You thought Rouge was the master treasure hunter? Well, get a load of Shadow. Actually, don't get a load of Shadow. Get a load of this! Anyway, it's time we deal with the side missions. Again, this is going to be the last set of side missions, or challenge acts, or whatever you call these things. This one in particular is going to be set around Chaos Control. I have to use it as much as I can to get to the goal ring.
Chaos Control! Alright, this is the ultimate power! Alright. 3. Chaos Control! Alright.
Easy as pie. Even though pie's really not that easy to make. Where'd that saying even come from? I think it's stupid. Anyway, on to the next challenge act. This one being based around Doom Morph. And I think it's in 3D too, so the control issues will be a bit of a problem here. And to add even more hilarity to the situation, we're gonna play Supersonic Racing for the soundtrack here.
Reach! Reach!
We pretty much destroyed the seriousness and credibility of Shadow with one song. But then again, putting in Supersonic Racing for anything is going to have that effect. Still love Supersonic Racing, that was a really good song. I think it's made by the same company as Sonic 3D Blast, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, what song do I want to play? Oh, Night of the Wind. Can't go wrong with this song. I love Night of the Wind. Anyway, this challenge act revolves around floating around in this elevator thing that you have to jump on in order to change directions. Kind of reminds me of the platforms from, ironically, Rocket Knight. Because there were platforms in that game that you have to slash in order to change the directions. I miss Sonic and the Black Knight. I really like that game. I find it weird that people are still dissing on the game. What is it, because Sonic has a sword? Shadow had guns! I think the sword makes sense. I also like the character of the sword too. Caliburn, he was smack-talking Sonic so bad in that game and I just loved it. Anyway, the next song I'm going to play is 7 Rings in Hand from Sonic and the Secret Rings. Oh boy. And this stage we have to destroy the Cyclones, or a certain amount of them, before we reach the Go Ring.
Let's do this.
Out of my way! Out of my way!
Chaos control!
You know, Sonic and the Secret Rings, I have not played that much of it, but from what I've played, it's not a bad game, but it's also not good either. It's just middle of the road. My main issue with Secret Rings is that the controls are utter ass, so that's probably why I haven't played too much into it. I also did not like the genie character from Secret Rings either. Shara? I think that was her name, Shara? Meh. Did not like her. That was the only one-off character from the Dark Age that I did not care for. That was 2007, 2008. That was the era of Chip. And I like Chip, but if Chip is somehow cooler than you, then there's something wrong. Anyway, time to go back to Sunset Heights for... Oh shit, it's the freaking One Ring challenge. Let's play something badass. Sonic Riders. Now, I think the soundtracks to the Sonic Riders games are better than the Sonic Riders games themselves. The first Sonic Riders, even though it has a good story, has a really bad gameplay loop. And the opponents cheat. They cheat like hell. The second Sonic Riders game, Zero Gravity, is a better attempt. The AI is fixed, but I don't think they fixed the controls that much, and Sonic Free Riders, the less said about that game, the better. Two down, two more to go. I'll see you guys in part 7 where we finally finish the challenge acts.